Hello guys, Perry Film here today. I'm going to explain a Chinese romance drama film called Better Days. Warning, spoilers ahead. Proceed with caution. The movie begins in a classroom where a young teacher, Chen Nian, is explaining the importance of English. The students appear to be focused, except for one girl who seems visibly upset. Chen notices the girl and is suddenly reminded of something from her past. This triggers a flashback, taking the audience back to a time when Chen was still in high school. Chen is a brilliant student who consistently ranks at the top of her class. With exams approaching, she often wears earphones to block out distractions and focus on her studies. However, one day a loud commotion breaks her concentration. Curious, she joins the crowd rushing to the balcony and is shocked to see her best friend, Hu Xiaodi, lying motionless on the ground below. It seems that Hua Xiaodi has done the unthinkable. A crowd of students gathers around, but instead of offering help, they begin taking photos to post on social media. Heartbroken and disgusted, Chen slowly walks over to her best friend's lifeless body and gently covers it with her jacket. It is then revealed that the entire school knows why Hu committed the unthinkable act, but they are too afraid to speak out publicly. The next day during class, Chen is called to the principal's office, where police detectives are present. They ask her about the deceased and whether she was friends with them. Surprisingly, Chen denies knowing the person and claims that she covered her face simply because other students were taking pictures. The detectives find it difficult to believe her story, but decide to let her go. When Chen returns to her classroom, she discovers red ink on her chair. This sight reminds her that her best friend Hu had been bullied in a similar manner before her death. Later, in the cafeteria, Wei Lai, the leader of the bullying group, approaches Chen and asks for help with the upcoming exams. Chen replies that she's too busy, so Wei Lai begins taking pictures of her, reminiscent of how she used to photograph Hu. Here, it is finally revealed that the bullies were responsible for Hu's death. They had regularly tormented her, which ultimately shattered her from within. Chen knows all of this, but she's too frightened to inform the police. On her way home, Wei Lai and the other bullies attack her simply because she spoke to the police officers. Despite the assault, Chen remains silent and goes home without saying a word. She finds her mother, who rarely comes home because she makes a living selling illegal goods. To prevent her daughter's studies from being affected by her activities, she tries to stay away as much as possible. At night, before going to bed, the mother promises Chen that she will soon buy a new house where they can live happily. Early the next morning, she leaves without telling her daughter. When Chen discovers this, she feels deeply saddened. As she walks home from school in the evening, she sees a group of boys bullying a boy named Xiao Bei. Chen decides to call the police, but one of the boys spots her and snatches her phone. The group then takes all her money and forces her to kiss Xiao. They laugh at her distress afterwards. However, this only fuels Xiao's anger. He stands up and delivers a fierce beating to the group's leader, causing the others to flee. Before leaving, Xiao locks eyes with Chen but remains silent. The next day, Xiao approaches Chen to personally thank her for saving him. He asks how much money the gang took from her, and Chen tells him it was 50 yuan. Since Xiao doesn't have the exact amount to repay her, he offers to fix her phone, which was damaged during the incident the previous night. At the repair shop, Xiao offers to be Chen's bodyguard for a fee, but Chen declines, pointing out that he couldn't even protect himself the previous day. Later, Xiao starts following her everywhere. Outside her home, Chen sees numerous posters accusing her mother of not paying her debts on time. Enraged, she rips them all down before storming inside. Unfortunately, the poster has already gone viral at school, and all the students mock Chen. Unable to endure it any longer, she leaves her class and goes home, something she has never done before. On her way, Chen runs into Xiao and they start talking. She explains everything that happened in class, and Xiao tries to console her. He then takes her to his small, shabby house under a bridge. That night, they share noodles and enjoy each other's company. Suddenly, Xiao asks if she likes him, but Chen bluntly tells him he doesn't have any likable qualities. This angers Xiao, and he shoves her against the wall, saying, "This is who I am." After this incident, Chen returns home in tears. The one person who had begun to understand her had laid hands on her. The next day during PE class, Chen is ignored by everyone, and no one wants to play volleyball with her. Wei Lai and her friends seize the chance to mock her relentlessly, even hitting her with the volleyball multiple times. Later, Chen is pushed down the stairs, but fortunately, she doesn't suffer any serious injuries. Fed up with the bullies, Chen decides to report everything to Police Inspector Zheng Yi. As a result, Wei Lai and her friends are called in for interrogation. Instead of admitting their actions, they blame Hu's family's situation and her character for her death. Although the police release them, the school decides to suspend the bullies for an entire year. The next day, Inspector Zheng calls Chen and offers her a ride. He apologizes for not being able to punish the bullies and bring justice to the deceased. That night, as Chen approaches her home, she sees the bully group waiting for her at the entrance. Angry that she reported them to the police and got them expelled from school, they plan their revenge by bringing a box of mice to release on her. Fortunately, Chen manages to escape and hide in a garbage bin. After the bullies leave, Chen slowly emerges from her hiding place and goes to the only person she believes can help her, Xiao. She tells him everything and asks if he will protect her, even though she has nothing to offer in return. From the next day on, Xiao escorts Chen to and from school, and she even starts living with him in his house. Since Xiao is a gang member, he often comes home beaten and injured. One day, when he returns severely hurt, Chen asks if he's all right and invites him to sleep beside her. Xiao reveals that his father left him when he was 13 and his mother abandoned him for another man. He adds that Chen is the first person to ever ask if his injuries hurt. From that night on, the two get along very well, enjoying each other's company and being playful together. With Xiao's support, Chen is able to focus better on her studies. When Xiao's boss calls him for a fight, Chen stops him, knowing he will get beaten up again. Surprisingly, Xiao agrees and stays home. Unfortunately, one day, Xiao is arrested as a suspect in a robbery case. He and his friends are taken to the police station and held until the culprit is found. Meanwhile, as Chen is about to return from school, she calls Xiao to escort her home. When he doesn't answer, she reluctantly decides to walk home alone. Unfortunately, Wei Lai and her bully group find her and start beating her up. They punch her, cut her hair, and even strip her clothes, recording the entire incident to blackmail her later. Before they can cause serious harm, a passerby notices and threatens to call the police. Hearing the passerby's threat, the bullies run away, leaving a bruised and humiliated Chen on the road. Shortly after, Xiao is released from the police station and calls Chen, but she doesn't answer. Worried, he rushes home and finds Chen, wounded and trying to tape her torn notebooks. Enraged by the sight, Xiao grabs a metal rod, ready to confront the bullies, but Chen stops him. Later, he shaves her hair to make it even, and then shaves his own so she wouldn't feel as bad. One night, Wei Lai approaches Chen and apologizes for her mistakes, even offering her money and begging her not to report her to the police. She fears having to repeat the grade and further angering her father, who hasn't spoken to her for a year. Chen forgives her, but warns her not to show her face again. As Chen tries to walk away, Wei Lai follows and starts criticizing her mother. This infuriates Chen, who pushes Wei Lai down the stairs. Wei Lai hits her head on the concrete ground and dies instantly, leaving Chen terrified. Chen immediately goes to Xiao and tells him what happened, fearing she will be arrested and given the death sentence. Xiao promises to take care of Wei Lai's body. He then visits one of his friends and borrows his car for the night. Afterward, Xiao takes Wei Lai's body to a secluded area and buries it, leaving evidence that would lead the police back to him. Meanwhile, Chen is very anxious, so she tries to divert her mind by focusing on her final exams. On the day of the exam, it rains heavily, and the authorities urge the students to leave early to reach the school on time. Landslides also occur on a major part of the highway. While clearing the landslide, a driver discovers Wei Lai's body. Upon further investigation, the police trace the car Xiao used that night, track down its owner, and eventually gather information about Xiao. Wei Lai's friends are also brought to the police station for interrogation, and they directly blame Chen for her death. Meanwhile, Officer Zheng finds the video of Chen being humiliated by Wei Lai and begins to suspect her involvement in the death. Consequently, Chen is taken to the police station and questioned about her whereabouts on the day Wei Lai died. Chen responds that she was busy preparing for her final exams. When asked why she didn't report the humiliation to the police, she explains that her only focus was to move away and study in Beijing. After more than an hour of interrogation, the police escort her back home, but decide to keep a close watch on her. The following day, as Chen is returning home from school, Xiao suddenly approaches her and takes her to the basement of an abandoned building. He locks the door, leaving the police officers outside. Xiao asks Chen to accuse him of assaulting her so that the police will assume he did the same to Wei Lai. This way, Chen would be freed and he would be convicted for Wei Lai's death. As expected, Chen refuses, but Xiao explains that as a minor, he won't receive a very harsh sentence. After some time, she reluctantly agrees. When the police finally arrive, Xiao pretends to assault her and gets arrested. In the next scene, Officer Zheng reviews numerous CCTV footage and discovers that Xiao had been following Chen for a long time. When asked why, Xiao claims he was just stalking her. Chen is also brought in for interrogation and questioned about Wei Lai's death. She denies any involvement and pretends not to know Xiao. Xiao also pretends not to know Chen, claiming he was merely stalking her because he found her attractive. After reviewing all the statements, the police release Chen due to lack of evidence, while Xiao is imprisoned. Several days pass, and Chen starts living with her mother. She tries to focus on her studies but struggles because her mind is filled with memories of Xiao. She misses him deeply and often breaks down in desperation. The only positive aspect is that she gets good marks in her exams, making her mother proud. One day, Officer Zheng visits Chen to congratulate her on topping the class. However, he also reveals that Xiao has been given a death sentence due to the severity of his past crimes. Chen starts crying, insisting that it's impossible because Xiao is a minor. However, Officer Zheng tells her that it's a lie and Xiao is actually 23 years old. Hearing this, Chen becomes delirious and starts attacking the officer. To calm her down, Officer Zheng finally reveals that he was just lying about the death sentence. However, he now knows about their relationship. He urges Chen to confess the truth. Though reluctant at first, the officer promises to reduce their sentences if they are honest. Later, Chen meets Xiao in prison and tells him that she has confessed everything. She is now being transferred to another prison, and her life feels ruined. However, the relief she feels from confessing is priceless. Following this, the movie flashes forward to the present, where Chen has grown up to become an English teacher. She has left her criminal past behind and is now looking to start a new career. When she notices a silent kid in her class, Chen recalls the torment she endured during her own childhood. The movie concludes with Chen walking the child all the way home, offering words of encouragement to stand up to the bullies. Following closely behind is Xiao, who still enjoys tagging along wherever Chen goes. Notice I kept it serious in this recap? That's because bullying is no joke. It might sound cringe, but if you're involved in that stuff, even in a group, just know you have no clue how much harm it can cause. And guess what? You have the power to stop it. So smash that subscribe button for more videos like this, hit the notifications, and drop a like to support the channel. Thanks for watching. See you next time.